Hey Star Wars fans, and welcome to my review of the Saga Legends IG-88 action figure.
But I want them alive. No disintegrations.
As you wish.
IG-88, as you'll remember, is one of the bounty hunters that Vader employed to track down the Millennium Falcon. And here he is. First things first, this figure is very big. He's tall, almost the size of Chewbacca, much taller than your regular 3 3/4 inch. He's fairly thin, but he does have a lot of good articulation, so you can keep him standing pretty well. He actually has 16 points of articulation, and they're all swivel. No ball joints anywhere, but you can get pretty good. I mean, for a droid, that's very nice. He's got 2 articulations on his head, 2 swivels, one at the base and one on the top part of his head. Then he swivels at his shoulder, and then this is weird, he swivels in his upper arm, and then he swivels at his elbow, but no wrist swivel. I guess they switched the wrist up to the upper arm. That's kind of different. Then he swivels at each of his leg joints, and then also the upper leg swivels. Then you've got a swivel at the knee joint, and an ankle swivel. Well, because it's all swivels, no ball joints, there's not a whole lot of posability, but come on, it's IG-88, he's a droid, what were you going to do with it? Like have him dodging and rolling? Oh, here's something cool. This belt that he has around him is fairly loose, it's painted all silver. It is technically connected to him via 2 very small wires on the front, but boy, those things look flimsy. If you were to try to twist this, it would pop off like nothing. But really, there isn't a reason to twist it because he doesn't have a swivel waist. He doesn't go side to side at all. He also has these loose wires running down his legs, which are really pretty cool. However, this one's a little bit annoying because it's just pegged into him, as you can see here, and it pops out really easily, like all the time. Not that bad, though, because it's physically connected to the rest of him. And I think that allows for a little bit more leg flexion where you otherwise wouldn't be able to do it. For a droid, that's really, really good. So paint job's pretty good. You basically see 2 tones throughout the whole of him, this sort of silver and this copper, which I don't really remember from the movie. I thought he was a lot darker. I would have pegged him as like a dark silver, almost like a matte black or something like that. Besides just the silver and the copper tones of paint, he also has some red paint on his eye parts all around his head. This may not be perfectly accurate to the movie, but hey, he still looks really good. It's still very obviously IG-88, despite maybe a little bit of color variation. The best part about this guy, though, is definitely his accessories. First off, this ammo belt can come off. It actually has an extra holster on the back that doesn't fit one of the 2 guns, so I guess you'd find an extra gun, maybe one of those extras that they put in all the Saga Legends figures. You know, you get those 5 or 6 generic guns. This might fit one of those. It looks like it'll fit a blaster, maybe like the Han's pistol sort of size. And it has this removable part right here, some sort of a blade, you know, that IG-88 can hold, or any of your figures can hold, I guess. So besides those 2, he also came with, yeah, 2 guns. How cool is that? But the neat thing about these 2 guns is that they're not just black. I know it's hard to see on the camera, but they've got, you know, hints of silver all over it, sort of thing. So they, it looks more like shiny black. You know, a lot better than your normal guns. When you compare them to side by side in person, of course the video can't do this justice, but when you compare them side by side to your generic black guns, these really stand out as looking good. However, IG-88 has trouble holding guns, actually. His hands look a lot like a Lego man's hands that are just a sort of a C shape, but then they have a long hook coming under the underside in order to support the gun. But he doesn't really have very good grip at all. His digits are very thin, so they don't provide a lot of support, and they also bend very easily. Like, even just putting the gun in, it'll bend all over the place. I just kind of force the gun, you know, in between the wrong way because that's the way that I can get it to stick in there. I'm giving him a 4 out of 5. It was great with all the accessories, but I'm marking him down because I don't like that he can't hold his own guns with any sort of stability. You can't ask for much better on a droid, is to have 16 swivel joints. Still, good figure. I recommend it if you like bounty hunters, if you like the original trilogy, just like IG-88, get this figure. Alright, thanks.